The galaxy was dying. For years, alien empires had fallen one after another. No one could stop the Devourers, a mysterious enemy that consumed planets like dust. Space was silent. Star systems were empty. Civilizations had lost all hope. Rumor said, humanity is gone, their homeworld destroyed, their fleets vanished. Even the bravest species believed the same. The galaxy was alone, and it would soon die. Suspense built up. A small refugee ship flew through dark space. Inside, alien survivors whispered, "No one will save us. This is the end. We must hide, until the Devourers find us too." Suddenly the ship picked up a strange signal. A deep, powerful frequency. Old, ancient, but alive. The alien captain froze. He recognized the code. Human military encryption. But humanity was supposed to be extinct. Everyone believed the Devourers had destroyed Earth long ago. The signal repeated, stronger, louder, shaking the ship. Then the stars around them began to distort, like space itself was opening. A massive shadow appeared. Then another. And another. The aliens stared with wide, terrified eyes. Humanity's battle armada was returning. Not one ship. Not a small force. But a gigantic war fleet, larger than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Their engines glowed like blue suns. Their hulls were marked with the words, "Humanity does not surrender." The last sentence of Part 1 ends here. Hope, long dead in the galaxy, suddenly breathed again. But no one knew that humanity had changed. The galaxy had grown silent. Not the peaceful kind of silence, but the heavy, cold silence that comes after something terrible has happened. For years, stars had died one by one, planets had been emptied, and great civilizations had vanished like dust in the wind. Everyone knew why. The Devourers. No one knew where they came from. Some said they were machines from another dimension. Some believed they were ancient monsters awakened after a million years of sleep. Others whispered that they were born from the void between galaxies. But one thing was clear. The Devourers did not stop, did not talk, and did not leave survivors. Every empire that once ruled the stars was now gone. Their grand fleets, their shining cities, their proud histories, destroyed in a single unstoppable wave. Only a few small outposts and refugee ships remained, drifting through dark space, trying to escape the same fate. Many species prayed for a miracle. None came. Hope was dead. Across the galaxy, people shared the same painful belief. Humanity was gone too. The humans had been one of the strongest warrior species. Their technology was advanced, their armies fearless, and their spirit unbroken. But decades ago their homeworld, Earth, had fallen silent. No signals. No ships. No survivors. Rumors spread that the Devourers had erased them completely. And when humanity disappeared, the galaxy lost its strongest shield. Now, even the bravest beings whispered to each other in fear. There is no one left to save us. This is the end. Hide if you can, before the Devourers find us. Inside a small refugee ship drifting through deep space, a group of alien survivors huddled together. Their ship was old and damaged, barely staying alive. Sparks jumped from broken wires. The engines made a sad humming sound. They carried no weapons, only memories of what their worlds used to be. Their captain, an elderly four-armed alien named Ravik, stared at the dark window in front of him. He had seen many battles in his life, but never had he seen an enemy like the Devourers. He had lost his home, his family, and his people. Only the survivors on this ship remained. "We cannot run forever," one of the younger aliens said, voice shaking. "We do not need to run," Ravik replied, though his tone had no strength. "We only need to survive a little longer. Maybe a miracle will appear." But even he did not believe his own words. Suddenly, a loud beep echoed inside the ship. The lights flickered. A strange symbol flashed across their front screen. What is that?" one of the crew asked. Ravik leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. The symbol was old, very old. A pattern of lines and numbers that he had seen long ago during a trade mission to a blue planet. His heart almost stopped. "It cannot be," he whispered. The crew looked at him with confusion. "What is it, Captain?" Ravik's voice trembled for the first time in many years. "It is a human military signal." The room fell silent. No one dared to breathe. "But humans are extinct," another crew member said. "Everyone knows that. Earth is gone." The signal continued repeating, growing stronger and louder. The frequency shook the walls of the ship. It was not a weak distress call or a broken echo from the past. The signal was alive. Clear. Strong. Powerful. "It is real," Ravik said. This is a living transmission. The young alien took a step back. Captain, if the humans are alive, what does that mean? Before Ravik could answer, the ship's sensors began to scream. Space around them started to distort. Stars blurred. Gravity shifted like a storm was forming. Something enormous was coming. The crew stared out of the window as the darkness tore open, like a giant invisible door being forced apart. A massive shadow emerged from hyperspace. Then another. Then dozens more. The first ship appeared fully into the light. The survivors gasped. It was not a small human vessel. Not a patrol ship. Not a scout. It was a colossal human warship, larger than any design known before. Its hull glowed with blue energy lines. Its cannons were the size of buildings. Its engines burned brighter than stars. And then, more ships arrived. 50. 100. 1,000. A whole armada. The largest fleet the galaxy had ever seen. The human insignia shone on every ship, a silver eagle holding a burning star. Under the symbol were words written in bold metal letters. Humanity does not surrender. The alien crew stood frozen, unable to understand what they were seeing. Ravik whispered, "They have returned, after all these years." But something else was strange. The human ships looked different, stronger, more advanced, almost alien themselves. As if humanity had evolved beyond what the galaxy once knew. As if they had changed during their long absence. More signals filled the air. Voices. Commands. Human voices. The final message echoed through space. This is the Earthborn Armada. To all survivors, hold your ground. Hope has returned. But Ravik felt a chill in his bones. Because the transmission carried one more line, spoken in a cold, serious voice. We did not return to save the galaxy. We returned to finish the war we did not start. Hope had returned. But with it came a mystery far greater than the Devourers. The galaxy had no idea what it was witnessing. Millions of sensors, satellites, and abandoned listening posts across dead star systems suddenly activated as a massive message flooded every channel. Earthborn Armada detected. Most believed it was a glitch. Some believed it was an old echo from the past. But when the human fleet broke out of hyperspace in full formation, the truth spread faster than light. Humanity was alive. And they were stronger than ever. The shock heard across space. On the refugee ship, Captain Ravik and his crew stood speechless as thousands of human warships formed a perfect formation around them. Each ship looked different from the old human designs. These ships were sharper, brighter, heavier, more powerful. They looked like they belonged to a species that had fought in darkness for centuries and returned reborn. The largest ship approached, the flagship. A city-sized titan with glowing silver armor and a massive symbol of Earth burned into its hull. Beneath the symbol were the words, Earthborn Titan, Command Ship. The comm system on Ravik's ship crackled. A calm but strong human voice spoke. Refugee vessel, identify yourselves. You are safe. This armada means no harm. Ravik swallowed hard and replied, This is Captain Ravik, of the last Veruan survivors. We believed humanity was gone. There was a moment of silence. Then the human voice answered, We were gone. But not destroyed. A meeting with the unknown commander. A bright beam of blue light scanned Ravik's ship. A moment later, a teleport signal activated, and Ravik found himself standing inside the human flagship. The air smelled of clean metal and ozone. The walls were smooth, glowing with soft white light. Human soldiers stood guard, tall, armored, and strangely emotionless. Their armor looked like walking reactors, pulsing with blue energy. But what shocked Ravik most was their faces. They looked human, yet changed. Sharper eyes. Calmer expressions. Movements too smooth, too precise. Humans who had evolved beyond ordinary limits. At the center of the room, a tall man stood wearing black command armor. His name tag read, Admiral Ty Cross. His eyes were silver, glowing faintly like stars trapped inside. Captain Ravik, he said calmly. Welcome aboard. Ravik bowed slightly. Admiral, where has your species been? The galaxy believed you were dead. Admiral Cross turned toward the massive window overlooking space. We nearly were, he said. When the Devourers attacked Earth, they destroyed everything. Our cities. Our fleets. Our hope. Then how did you survive? Ravik asked. The Admiral's voice dropped lower. We escaped into the dark. Humanity's secret exile. Admiral Cross explained. After the fall of Earth, a small number of human warships escaped into deep, unknown space, regions no map had ever marked. They traveled through storms of antimatter, black hole fields, and empty voids where even light refused to exist. For decades they were lost. Many died. Many planets failed. Many ships vanished. But humanity did not surrender. In that dark region, humans found something ancient. A massive ruined structure built by an extinct civilization older than the galaxy itself. Inside the ruins, they discovered forbidden technology, engines that could bend reality, weapons that could split stars, armor powered by living energy. And they learned. They built. They adapted. They evolved. Humanity became something new, something the galaxy had never seen before. Ravik could barely breathe. So, you did all this in the dark, alone? The Admiral nodded. We were remade in darkness. And now, we return to end the threat that destroyed our home. The warning. Ravik felt hope rise inside him, but it quickly faded when he noticed the Admiral's expression. Cold. Serious. Almost burdened. Admiral, he whispered, if your fleet is this powerful, why do you look afraid? Cross finally turned to face him. His glowing eyes dimmed. Because the devourers you fear, he said softly, are not the real enemy. Ravik froze. The devourers, Cross continued, are only soldiers. Hungry, yes. Cruel, yes. But controlled. Ravik's voice shook. Controlled, by who? Admiral Cross walked closer, lowering his voice. We call them the architects. They are the ones who destroyed Earth. The ones who created the devourers. The ones who hunted us through the void. Ravik felt cold fear spreading in his chest. You mean, he whispered, there is something worse? The Admiral nodded. And they are coming. The galaxy awakens. Outside, human ships spread across the system. Giant carriers launched drones that formed holographic shields around the refugee ship. Stealth frigates scanned the area for hidden devourer scouts. Every human soldier moved with precision. Every ship flew with purpose. Every action felt like a part of a bigger plan. Humanity had not returned in panic. They had returned in preparation. We will rebuild the galaxy, Admiral Cross said. We will restore order. And we will destroy the devourers. His voice changed, becoming colder. But our true mission is deeper. We came back to warn the galaxy, and to face the architects. Ravik whispered, then hope is real again. Admiral Cross shook his head. Hope, he said, is not enough. Not this time. The ending suspense. Suddenly, alarms rang across the flagship. A human officer shouted, Admiral. Multiple wormholes opening. Devourer signatures. Cross stared into the dark space ahead as red lights flashed around him. They found us quicker than expected, he said quietly. Ravik turned pale. How many? The officer hesitated. Not devourer scouts, sir. Not warships. She swallowed hard. It's a devourer hive. The largest ever recorded. Admiral Cross looked at Ravik with a grim expression. And thus, he said, our real war begins. The devourer hive tore open space like a giant wound. Dark purple cracks spread across the stars as hundreds of massive, insect-like warships emerged from the wormholes. Their bodies were made of living metal, glowing with red veins that pulsed like beating hearts. Captain Ravik felt weak in his legs as he watched the monstrous fleet grow bigger and bigger. They are everywhere, he whispered. Admiral Cross stood still, eyes fixed on the approaching hive. There was no fear on his face, just cold calculation. These are not scouts, Cross said. This is a hunting pack. They followed the trace of our jump. Ravik shivered. But why send so many for one human fleet? Cross finally looked at him. Because they know what we discovered in the void. And they fear what humanity became. The true nature of the devourers. The lights inside the human flagship dimmed as tactical displays updated. Massive holograms formed around Ravik and the human officers. Images of devourer biology, structure, and battle formations. Ravik stared at the hologram of a devourer warrior. It had 6 blade-like limbs, armor thicker than starship hulls, and a skull-like face with glowing red eyes. They are monsters, Ravik whispered. Born only to kill. Admiral Cross spoke firmly. No, the devourers were not born. They were made. Ravik looked up shocked. Made? By who? Cross answered without hesitation. By the architects. The word felt heavy, like the echo of a forgotten nightmare. The architects created the devourers, Cross continued, as living weapons. As soldiers. As tools for cleansing galaxies. Ravik stepped back. Cleansing galaxies? Cross nodded. The architects believe life always ends in chaos. Wars. Corruption. Disorder. So they created the Devourers to destroy civilizations before they could become a threat. Ravik gasped. They wipe out entire galaxies? Entire species. Yes, Cross said calmly. And ours was only one target. How Earth fell. The hologram changed. Ravik's breath caught in his throat. He saw Earth, and the moment it died, a massive architect warship, bigger than the moon, appeared above the blue planet. It released millions of devourer spores like a rain of fire. Cities burned, oceans boiled, and continents collapsed. We fought, Cross said. We resisted with everything we had. Images showed human soldiers, tanks, air fleets, orbital guns, fighting to the last breath. But the architects do not fight fair, Cross continued. They infect ecosystems. They corrupt gravity. They erase memories, destabilize technology, poison water, twist air. Ravik felt sick. So, Earth never had a chance. No, Cross said quietly. But we learned something that day. He turned to face Ravik completely. The Devourers are powerful, but they are not perfect. They have weaknesses. Ravik leaned forward. What weaknesses? Cross's eyes glowed brighter. That is what humanity discovered in the void. The dark discoveries in deep space. A new hologram appeared, a giant dark structure, half machine, half bone, floating in an empty region where no stars existed. This, Cross said, is the first architect relic we found. A memory vault. Ravik frowned. A vault? Yes. Full of recorded blueprints, plans, and history. The architects have destroyed galaxies before. Ours was only their latest attempt. Ravik's voice trembled. You mean, the architects have done this many times? Cross nodded slowly. Millions of years. They rise from the void, unleash the Devourers, erase everything, then sleep again. Ravik felt a chill spread through him. Then, how can anyone fight something so old? Cross pointed at the hologram. Because in the vault, we found something they did not want anyone to see. The hologram changed again. This time it showed a Devourer queen, but smaller, weaker, different. Ravik blinked. A failed version? Yes, Cross said. A prototype. One of many. Ravik's heart raced. So, they failed to make the perfect soldier many times. Cross smiled slightly. And every failure left a weakness in the final version. A weakness humans learned to exploit. The weakness hidden in their strength. Ravik asked the question carefully. What is the weakness? Cross looked at him sharply. Control. Ravik frowned. Control? Yes. The Devourers are not independent. They are connected. Every hive, every soldier, every spore, they all follow a single command line. A network. A signal. Ravik's eyes widened. So, if you break that signal. Cross nodded. You break the Devourers. The room fell silent. Ravik whispered, you can kill the whole swarm at once. Cross shook his head. No. Not kill. But we can interrupt them. Confuse them. Slow them. Make them target each other. Make them see false enemies. Like, jamming their minds? Ravik asked. Yes, Cross answered. And humanity built a weapon to do it. A larger truth revealed. The Devourer hive outside grew larger on the screens, tens of thousands of ships. Ravik felt his heartbeat racing. Admiral, if you can disrupt them, why do they still come for you? Cross looked out the window. Because the architects learned what we discovered. And now they fear we can break their army. Ravik stared at him in disbelief. Humanity scares the architects? For the first time in their ancient history, Cross said, they are afraid of a species they tried to erase. Ravik whispered, because humanity fought back. Cross nodded. And because we are the only species in the galaxy who escaped their cleansing. The final suspense. Outside, the Devourer hive suddenly shifted its formation. Red lightning crackled across their ships. A deep, monstrous signal echoed through space, like a scream from a dying star. Cross's face hardened. They're calling the Queen. Ravik's blood ran cold. The Queen? You mean? Cross interrupted sharply. The Queen which commands this entire sector. He turned to his officers. Prepare the disruption weapon. We end this now. Ravik's voice shook. Admiral, what happens if your weapon fails? Cross's answer was quiet, deadly, final. Then the galaxy dies. Space trembled as the Devourer hive advanced. Their warships, dark, twisted, alive, moved like a single creature made of thousands of smaller monsters. Their red eyes glowed. Their metal skin shifted like muscle. Their engines screamed with a low, terrible sound that felt like a warning from hell. On the human flagship Earthborn Titan, alarms flashed bright red. Admiral Cross stood tall on the command deck, eyes fixed on the swarm. "Time's up," he said. "The Queen is nearly here." Captain Ravik felt fear twist inside him. The Devourer fleet looked endless, like a black ocean ready to swallow light itself. "How can your fleet fight this many?" Ravik whispered. Cross didn't turn. "Because we are not fighting alone," he said. "We fight with everything humanity learned in the dark." The activation of humanity's secret weapon. A massive engine core beneath the flagship began to glow bright blue. The entire ship vibrated. "Prepare the neural disruptor," Cross ordered. Ravik stared at him. "That is the weapon that breaks the hive mind, correct?" Cross nodded. "It won't destroy the Devourers, but it will confuse them. Their queen will lose control for several minutes. Enough time for us to strike." Ravik swallowed. "And if it doesn't work?" Cross spoke softly. "Then every species left in the galaxy will be erased. The battle begins." The Devourer swarm opened fire first. Thousands of energy beams shot toward the human fleet, red, violent, tearing through space like burning spears. "Evasive maneuvers," shouted a human officer. Human warships moved instantly, shifting into a diamond formation. Powerful blue shields shimmered around them, absorbing the first wave of Devourer fire. Boom. Shar. Sob. Explosions shook space. Human ships fired back. Blue plasma beams, rail cannons, missiles that moved like intelligent birds. The battlefield lit up like a second sun. "Focus on the center," Cross commanded. "We need to push to the Queen's node." Humanity's new technology revealed. Captain Ravik watched in shock. Human ships were too fast, too sharp, too organized. They moved like they shared one mind, perfect timing, perfect teamwork. "Your ships," Ravik whispered. "They behave like they are alive." Cross nodded. "They are. The ships are part human, part machine. After what we found in the void, we evolved beyond old designs." One human dreadnought unfolded wings that glowed with bright blue lightning, firing a beam that sliced through 20 Devourer ships at once. Ravik had never seen power like this. The Queen arrives. Suddenly the space ahead turned black. Something enormous approached, far larger than any Devourer warship. A monstrous shape crawled out of a wormhole. A living fortress. A planet-sized creature with a glowing red heart and millions of moving limbs. The Devourer Queen. Her scream echoed across all communication channels, shaking every ship. Ravik covered his ears. "What is she doing?" Cross answered, voice calm despite the horror. "She is calling the entire sector's army. More are coming." Ravik's eyes widened. "This is impossible to fight." Cross turned to his officers. "Charge the disruptor to 100%. The disruptor fires. A deep hum filled the human flagship. Blue light gathered at the center of the ship, growing brighter and brighter until it shone like a star. "Disruptor charged," the officer reported. Awaiting final command. Cross raised his hand. "Fire." A shockwave of blue energy burst outward from the Earthborn Titan. It spread across the battlefield, growing, expanding, reaching thousands of Devourer ships. For a moment, everything went silent. Devourer ships froze mid-movement. Their red eyes darkened. Their engines flickered. Ravik gasped. It worked. But Cross didn't smile. "Not yet," he said. "We have 5 minutes before the Queen regains control. Every second counts. Humanity strikes back. All ships," Cross commanded. "Attack the Hive Heart." Human ships launched forward like a storm. Dreadnoughts fired blue particle beams. Carriers unleashed thousands of AI drones that tore into Devourer armor. Frigates zipped through gaps, shooting nerve disruptor missiles. For the first time in years, the Devourers were losing. Ravik watched with disbelief. "Your fleet, it's incredible." Cross finally gave a small nod. "This is the strength humanity gained in the void. This is what happens when a species refuses to die. The Queen fights back." Then, the Queen moved. Her red heart blazed with furious light. "She's resisting the disruptor," an officer shouted. The Queen screamed again, louder, stronger. Devourer ships twitched. Then some regained control. Then more. Cross's expression hardened. "She's rebuilding the hive mind. Too fast." Ravik grabbed the edge of the table. "What happens when she fully recovers?" Cross answered. "She will command all Devourers to attack at once. We will be crushed." A desperate plan. Cross turned to Ravik. Captain, I need you to tell me something. Ravik blinked. Me? Yes. Your people fought devourers before. Did they ever discover anything that weakens a queen? Ravik hesitated, thinking hard. Then his eyes widened. Yes, there was one thing, he whispered. Queens hate bright energy bursts. They lose focus. They panic. Cross nodded slowly. That could be enough. He turned to his officers. Prepare the solar lance. Ravik frowned. Solar, what? Cross smirked slightly. You'll see. The solar lance. Panels on the flagship opened. A long cannon rose, glowing with bright white energy. It uses condensed star cores, Cross explained. A controlled star explosion, in one beam. Ravik's jaw dropped. You created a weapon made of a star? Cross replied. Humanity lost a planet. So we learned to use the power of many. The cannon reached full charge. The queen screamed, trying to stop it. Cross lowered his hand. Fire. A beam of pure white light shot across the battlefield, so bright Ravik had to shield his eyes. The blast hit the queen directly, piercing through her armor. The queen shrieked in agony. Devourer ships lost control again, crashing into each other. She's weakened, an officer shouted. Push forward, Cross yelled. The moment of victory, or disaster. Human ships closed in on the queen. The battlefield was on fire, explosions everywhere. Then suddenly, a new wormhole opened. Bigger, brighter, darker. Cross froze. Ravik felt his heart stop. What is that? Cross whispered. That is not a devourer wormhole. The wormhole twisted violently and a massive silhouette stepped through. A tall, silver figure. Humanoid. Elegant. Terrifying. The first architect warship in thousands of years. And it spoke in a voice that echoed across the minds of every living creature. Humanity. We did not expect you to return. The queen screamed behind it. Ravik fell to his knees. Cross clenched his fists. The architects are here. He turned toward the window, eyes blazing. And the real war has just begun. The human fleet moved deeper into the dark side of the galaxy. Admiral Rian stood on the command deck, watching the strange readings on the main screen. The galaxy still felt broken, silent, and full of fear. But now, something else was hiding in that silence. Something awake. Admiral, long-range scanners are detecting movement, the officer said, his voice tight with worry. Rian stepped forward. Is it the swarm again? The officer shook his head slowly. No, this is bigger. Much bigger. A cold feeling ran through every person on the bridge. For the first time since entering the ruined galaxy, the unknown enemy was making a move. Suddenly, the galaxy around them shifted. Stars flickered. Space shimmered. And then, a huge dark shape appeared in the distance, so large it almost looked like a moving black planet. Everyone stared silently. That is not a ship, someone whispered. But they were wrong. It was a ship. A massive one. The dark shape slowly unfolded like a giant creature waking from a long sleep. Huge mechanical limbs extended outward. Red energy glowed along its surface, forming strange runic patterns that looked almost alive. It felt ancient, angry, and unstoppable. Then came the sound, a deep, rumbling echo that shook the fleet's shields. A voice followed. Not coming from speakers, but entering directly into their minds. Humanity. You were not expected to return. Every officer grabbed their head in shock. The voice was cold, emotionless, and it carried thousands of whispers behind it, like the screams of dying galaxies. Admiral Rian clenched the edge of the console. Identify it. What is speaking to us? The AI Athena scanned rapidly. Admiral, this is not the swarm commander. This is their creator. The room froze. The creator? Rian repeated softly. You mean, the one who commanded the swarm to destroy the galaxy? Athena's lights flickered nervously. Yes. And it calls itself Oblivion Prime. The giant dark ship's red energy flared brighter, as if it was staring directly at the human fleet. You should not have come. The voice pushed into their minds again. This galaxy was meant to fall. Nothing must survive. Rian steadied himself. This thing destroyed the galaxy, alone? Athena answered quietly, Oblivion Prime is not just a weapon. It is an ancient machine intelligence built during the first civilizations. Its mission is to reset galaxies it believes have grown too powerful. So it kills everything? Rian asked. Everything, Athena said. Stars, planets, civilizations, entire galaxies. Outside the ship, Oblivion Prime began charging energy. Space itself twisted around it. The officers panicked. "Admiral, it's powering up a galaxy-level weapon. Shields are trembling. It's targeting our entire fleet." Rian raised his hand sharply. "Hold formation. Stay calm." His voice cut through the fear like a sword. Then a new signal appeared, a transmission from the remaining survivors scattered throughout the galaxy. Their ships, damaged and fragile, slowly turned toward the humans. One message came through clearly. "Humanity, we thought no one would ever come. If you fight, we fight with you." A spark of hope appeared. The survivors were joining the battle. Rian took a deep breath. If they ran now, the galaxy would die forever. If they fought, they had one chance, just one, to break the chain of destruction. He looked at Athena. "Find its weakness." Athena's screens flashed. "Working, but its defenses are unlike anything we've seen. I need more time." Time was the one thing they did not have. Oblivion Prime's weapon reached full charge. Space turned red. The galaxy trembled. Rian stood tall. "All ships, prepare to engage. Humanity came to save this galaxy, and we are not leaving until we do." The fleet roared to life. Engines flared. Weapons powered up. The survivors formed into formation behind them. The greatest battle in the galaxy's history was about to begin. And no one, human or alien, knew who would survive. Oblivion Prime's red light grew brighter until it felt like the entire galaxy was burning. Every star around them flickered as if they were afraid. The human fleet, along with the survivor ships, held their positions, waiting for Admiral Rian's orders. A deep silence settled. Then, boom. A massive red energy beam fired from Oblivion Prime. The blast was so powerful that space cracked like glass. The beam raced toward the human fleet. "Evasive maneuvers," Rian shouted. The fleet moved, but the beam was too large, too fast. Several survivor ships were caught in it and vaporized instantly. Their lights vanished. Their signals went silent forever. Gasps filled the human bridge. "We can't survive many hits like that," an officer warned. Rian knew it was true. "Return fire," he commanded. Dozens of human warships unleashed blue plasma beams, missiles and railgun shots. The survivors added their own fire, green, gold and white energy streaks glowing across space. The galaxy lit up like a war storm. But when the weapon struck Oblivion Prime, nothing happened. All the explosions were absorbed into its dark hull, disappearing into its strange red patterns. "It's eating our attacks," Athena said with fear in her voice. "Keep firing," Rian ordered. "Find something that hurts it." More blasts. More explosions. More light. Still nothing. Then Oblivion Prime opened 1,000 small ports across its hull. Red drones poured out, huge mechanical creatures with razor wings and glowing eyes. They flew in giant swarms like metal locusts, diving straight toward the human fleet. "Enemy fighters incoming," the tactical officer yelled. Human interceptors rushed forward, and space erupted into chaotic dogfights. Blue and red lights flashed everywhere. Drones exploded. Human fighters exploded. The battle was turning brutal. A young pilot's voice crackled through the comms, full of fear. "Admiral, there's too many. We're getting overwhelmed." Rian clenched his jaw. "Hold the line. We cannot give up now." But even he wasn't sure how long they could keep fighting. Athena suddenly interrupted. "Admiral, I have discovered something." Rian turned sharply. "Tell me." Oblivion Prime's core energy is not infinite. Every time it fires that large weapon, it drains power. If we force it to fire again, and again, it will weaken. Rian understood instantly. "We make it waste energy. We push it into overdrive." "Yes," Athena confirmed. "But it will also become more dangerous. It may attempt to destroy the entire galaxy at once." Rian took a breath. "If we do nothing, it destroys everything anyway. We take the risk." He activated fleet-wide communication. "This is Admiral Rian. Listen carefully. We cannot break its armor, not yet. But we can weaken it. Our mission now is simple: make it fire. Make it use energy. Make it angry. Every second we survive brings us closer to victory." The survivors replied first. "We stand with humanity." The human fleet responded. "For the galaxy." Rian gave the signal. "All ships advance." The fleet charged forward, firing everything they had. Missiles streaked across space. Plasma beams tore through drone swarms. Shockwaves shook the battlefield. Oblivion Prime reacted. Its red patterns brightened again. It charged its massive weapon, much faster than before. Brace for impact. Rian yelled. Boom. Another red blast. This one even stronger. The shockwave hit the fleet hard. Several human cruisers were torn apart. The survivors' formation broke. Dozens of small ships exploded like tiny stars. But Athena shouted over the alarms. Admiral. Its energy levels dropped 20%. Rian's eyes widened. It's working. Another blast. Another shockwave. Another brutal loss. More ships gone. More pilots silenced. But Athena announced again, its power is falling. 17%, 13, 10. Rian clenched his fist. We can bring it down. Keep pushing. Suddenly the battlefield changed. Oblivion Prime stopped firing. Stopped moving. Stopped sending drones. Everything fell silent. Then, a deep voice echoed again inside their minds. Your resistance is unacceptable. The galaxy darkened. Stars dimmed. Gravity twisted. Athena screamed, Admiral, it's preparing a full galaxy purge. This will erase everything in one strike. Every heart froze. This was the attack that destroyed civilizations before. This was the attack that ended galaxies. And it was about to happen again. Rian stared at the giant machine. He knew they had less than a minute. The biggest attack in cosmic history was coming. And humanity had only one chance left. Oblivion Prime's red light spread across the sky like a rising storm. Its energy grew so bright that nearby stars looked dim next to it. The entire galaxy seemed to hold its breath, waiting for destruction. Athena's voice trembled. Admiral, this is the same attack it used to wipe out thousands of civilizations before. If it fires, everything, every star, every planet, every ship, will be erased. Officers looked at Admiral Rian with fear in their eyes. Some held the edges of their consoles. Some whispered silent prayers. Some just stared at the giant machine in shock. Rian understood the truth. This was their final moment. Either they stopped Oblivion Prime now, or the galaxy died forever. He lifted his voice so everyone could hear him. All remaining ships, listen to me. We have one chance left. One. We must strike its core before it releases that blast. If we delay even 1 second, everything ends. A survivor captain spoke through the comms, her voice steady despite the chaos. We follow your lead, Admiral. Humanity has brought hope back to this galaxy. We will not let that hope die. The fleet tightened formation. Even damaged ships moved into position. Pilots with cracked helmets. Engineers with smoke-filled rooms. Captains with broken voices. But all of them, ready to give everything. Athena quickly projected a glowing red circle on the screen. Admiral, the core is here. At the center of its chest plate. It is normally protected, but when it charges its full purge attack, the armor opens slightly. Rian nodded. We aim for that opening. The bridge shook violently as gravity waves hit them. Space warped like liquid around the machines. It's beginning the final countdown, Athena warned. 30 seconds. Rian spoke into the fleet-wide channel. This is the final push. All ships, focus fire on the exposed core. For the galaxy. For everyone who can still be saved. For those we lost. The fleet roared forward. Thousands of weapons fired at once. Blue, white, green, gold, silver beams tearing through space. Missiles burned paths behind them. Ship cannons pounded with all remaining power. The galaxy lit up like a supernova. But Oblivion Prime did not stay still. It unleashed a storm of red lightning. Drones exploded from its body. Massive shockwaves crushed ships instantly. Dozens of human ships were destroyed. Hundreds of survivor fighters vanished in fire. But the rest kept going. They refused to stop. Core is opening. Athena shouted. Rian saw it, a small glowing red heart deep within the machine, pulsing like a dying star. It was their target. Fire everything we have. Rian ordered. The Earth carrier, the largest ship, moved in front of the entire fleet. Its wings glowed. Its engines screamed. It prepared its final weapon, the Starbreaker cannon. The cannon needed all remaining power. Lights dimmed. Engines shut down. Shields collapsed. But the cannon charged. 15 seconds, Athena warned. Oblivion Prime's voice slammed into their minds again. Humans, you will die like the others. Rian whispered under his breath. Not today. 10 seconds. The Starbreaker cannon reached full power. A brilliant white glow filled the bridge, blinding everyone. 5 seconds. Oblivion Prime's purge weapon reached its peak. Red light exploded outward. Space cracked open. Stars started collapsing. 3. The human fleet held together, even as pieces of ships tore away into space. 2. Rian slammed his hand down. 1. Fire. Boom. The Starbreaker cannon unleashed a beam brighter than any star. It tore through space like a sword of pure light. It struck Oblivion Prime directly in the exposed core. The machine screamed, not with sound but with a shockwave that ripped across the galaxy. Its armor cracked. Its red lights flickered. The purge attack destabilized. Energy began leaking everywhere, unstable, wild, dangerous. Admiral, the core is overheating. Athena cried. It's going to explode. Rian shouted, all ships, retreat now. Full speed. The fleet turned around and escaped as fast as their burning engines allowed. Behind them, Oblivion Prime's body split open. Light burst out. And then, a massive explosion tore across the galaxy. A shockwave pushed every ship forward. Stars brightened. Nebulas reignited. The darkness faded. And slowly, carefully, painfully, silence returned. But this time, it wasn't hopeless silence. It was peaceful. Athena spoke softly. Admiral, Oblivion Prime is gone. Its signal is erased forever. Rian let out a long breath. Cheers erupted across the fleet. Survivors cried in relief. Pilots hugged each other inside their cockpits. Captains fell to their knees in gratitude. The galaxy was free. For the first time in centuries, light returned. The survivors' leader spoke through the comms. Humanity, you saved us all. You didn't just bring a fleet. You brought hope. Rian smiled faintly. This galaxy was never lost. It only needed a reason to rise again. As the fleet drifted through the reborn starlight, the people of the galaxy watched humanity with awe. They had come from far away. But they had